Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Fuel community. My name is Wack. Today is June 4th. Today's episode is going to cover some the news of the Houston contracts being deployed to mainnet. We're going to be talking about the team interacting with the tokenomics proposals. We're also going to be talking about CowSwap and how they're deploying to layer 2s, and a theory from Nate Garassi about the ETFs. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
So we're going to start here with the smart contract deployment for Houston upgrade, and here Patches shared a link for Etherscan. If we have a look at Etherscan, we can see that there were a whole bunch of transactions made by Rocket Pool deployer address number 3, and this was a whole bunch of contracts that got deployed around 13 hours ago from when I'm recording, and this includes things like Rocket Network Snapshots, Rocket Network Voting, Rocket DAO Protocol Verifier, etc., and a whole bunch of these different contracts were deployed last night. So that was really exciting. Patches, of course, was setting notifications for that address, and he got it, and he got it out ASAP. Kane replied by saying, "Patches, please." And then Val said, "You got to use the new address if you don't want patches on it under a minute." And then Kane said, "Maybe I want you to see it." So there was a little bit of back and forth about that whole process, which was really cool. And then we actually got a protocol announcement from Langers. So he says, "Hey everyone, in preparation for the Houston release on June 17th, we have deployed the Houston upgrade contracts. Bear in mind that this still doesn't mean that the Houston changes have taken effect. There's still some steps to follow." So here the contract is there. That's what I just showed you all. And it says all the new contracts have been deployed, set in the upgrade contract, and the contract has been locked, so no further changes can be made. The following tool has been used to verify that the deployed contracts match our source contracts on GitHub. And then there's a verify 1.3, and it says what happens next. It says tomorrow we will raise an ODAO proposal for the upgrade. There is a 7-day delay before the ODAO can vote on the upgrade. They will vote on it next week, and if it's successful, we can execute the vote. At that stage, the upgrade will be ready to go, and on the 17th of June, the core team will trigger the upgrade. In the meantime, we will be putting out a Medium article this week to explain the Houston changes in detail and what to do when it's released. Thank you to everyone that has contributed to this release. We cannot wait to deliver it to the community. So this is really exciting. Thankfully, hopefully there'll be no more last minute bugs to delay this more, which of course, we have to remember that as much as we dislike delays, having a bug on this contract would be way worse. And that's definitely something we want to avoid. So this, as unfortunate as it has been, this is of course the right way to do things. And now we're getting really close to Houston going live in less than 2 weeks. And I am so excited for it, and I'm so ready for it to happen. So congratulations to everyone who's worked on this. So yesterday we were talking a little bit about the tokenomics stuff. Well, actually last week as well. And we talked about how, the community is getting really close to putting together the final the final version of the public facing document. And, we're still looking for feedback and insight from community members and other people if they want to contribute to this. We're really looking forward to that. However, Langers here had a comment yesterday saying, "Just to let everyone know that the team have been reviewing the RPIPs for a few days and will be workshopping some responses on our Thursday." So that is Wednesday, basically tomorrow night. If you're in the US, that's when the team is going to start spending some time on talking about tokenomics changes, which is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to getting some of their feedback as well in this whole process, and seeing what they have to say about it. So this is really, really wonderful. This whole thread has been popping off. It's so busy. There've been so many people sharing their ideas and working on last minute changes and edits to the documents, etc., and making sure the formatting is all correct, just to get it ready for the world to see. Jasper's ready to get content out there. I'm ready to get content out there. What's really funny is here, Long for Wisdom said, will we be ready for a publicity push? Samus had a funny comment saying maybe we should have a vote before we make it ready. And Val's like, that's not going to happen. But anyway, what is happening is that, you know, we're getting to the point where we're going to get the word out. Jasper, I'm sure, is going to be doing some communicative stuff. I said I've already been talking about rocket fuel, and then Long for Wisdom says, right, but can we be at the we're at the stage we're looking for engagement from node operators to nail everything down. It doesn't have to be for the love of God, don't talk about it. So that is what I've been doing. I've been telling you all to get involved, you know, see what you can help out. And Jasper says, I think there's a difference between awareness and work and publicity of goals. And then Sam says, I think Rocket Fuel has been great, just covering what the status is and any progress, etc. So yeah, thank you for that. But I said, once everything is public, I'll write a Twitter thread and I'll write a post for ETH Finance and do a line by line on the show. So I will be, you know, we can probably have a long episode in a few days' time where I'll literally go line by line from the tokenomics public facing document and kind of explain each step of that as well as I can along the way. So I think it's going to be really cool. So here, Long for Wisdom says, you know, I'll draft a post tomorrow morning and include links to the new explainers, which should have merged by then, a general update on where we are in the process and what comes next, call to action for various levels of engagement, explicitly welcoming discussion, and all the usual forum post stuff. Does that make sense? And people said yes. And it looks like we are ready to go very, very soon. So, like I said, this is really like hopping, buzzing thread. And everyone's really high energy and like really focused on getting the work done and getting the work out. So huge kudos goes to all of those people. And I'm really excited to dig into the actual work that they publish. Okay, here we have a screenshot from Sneaky Ninja Guy, and he said that there's an estimated 626 minutes, which is about 10.5 hours, and that's between tomorrow's ratio snapshot and the reward snapshot. So the ratio snapshot just locks in the rewards period for, you know, calculating the rewards for the next time. And between the ratio snapshot happening, you know, that's wherever it's worked out what the percentage of collateral is. The ratio to work out the percentage of collateral for 10%. There'll be 10.5 hours for you to make sure that you're above that collateral level before the reward snapshot happens. You know, it's normal time at 1:35 a.m. Eastern time, I think. Is it 12:35? I don't know the time change. I don't stay up for the rewards period anymore like I used to. I've forgotten what time it is. But you'll have some time, hopefully, tomorrow to be able to do that. Now, talking about the ratio, it's taken a pummeling recently, and you know, things are looking not good. Like, I'll be frank about it, and that has shown in the number of node operators who are below 10% collateral. So the first bar on the left on the screen here, it shows people who are 0 to 5% collateral, and that's 759 node operators are in that bucket. And then from 5 to 10% collateral, that's 982 node operators are in that bucket. And for those above 10%, you know, we've got 10 to 15% is 379, 15 to 20%, 120, 20 to 25%, 78, and then it just dwindles literally like very low after that. So I think we're looking at like 80% of node operators are going to be under collateralized here, and that is not going to be nice for those people. It'll be interesting to see how many of those top up. This will be the last month where we won't have predictability about the top up period, because with the Houston upgrade, one of the changes that will be happening is we'll have a set 24 hours before the snapshot to get the final ratio in. So that, you know, will give people some leeway about their rewards. But here, you know, it's not looking good, and we'll be talking about that a lot more in the tokenomics, about how the idea that people will be topping up kind of has failed. People were sharing their screenshots showing that they needed, you know, like $80,000 of RPL to top up. Another person showed that they needed hundreds of thousands of dollars of RPL to top up on their validator. So it's not nice, but hopefully, you know, we'll get Houston out in 2 weeks' time, and then there'll be a domino effect of positive catalysts for Rocket Pool, you know, within the protocol and outside of the protocol, that hopefully will lead us to positivity ahead. But that's going to take some time, sadly. Okay, finally, I'm going to talk about the IMC vote that's going on. I've been talking about this a lot recently, so I'm not going to dig into the actual vote counts anymore, except to say that it's looking quite good. What I am going to talk about is the fact that we have reached quorum. So quorum that has now been reached on this vote. We are 7,200 votes out of 7,200 votes. We're still missing some big node operators like or delegates like Joe hasn't voted yet. I guess he'll vote when he's around. And Thomas hasn't voted, and a whole bunch of other people haven't voted either. But it looks like it's going to go forward quite nicely. Okay, next we're going to talk about some Ethereum news here. So we got this tweet from CowSwap. Now, for those of you who don't use CowSwap, it is my favorite DEX exchange because it gets numbers from a whole bunch of different places. I know some people like the DeFi Llama integrated DEX as well, but I like using CowSwap because it says moo when you do your trade, and you can get to play the little like cow running game. But CowSwap for the last few days been teasing about layer 2 deployments, and they have said they put out this tweet earlier this morning saying that the technical debt clearing for layer 2 deployments is 100%. So people started saying, hey, where's your layer 2 deployment? Anyway, if you go to the CowSwap website, or you can actually see it because of the way my screen's set up, you can actually change the network now, or there you can. So on the top right, you can choose Ethereum, but now you can also choose Arbitrum 1, which is another chain that they've added to their service, which is wonderful. I think they'll be deploying to Base, OP, probably ZK Sync, Stark, etc. over the coming days, and that's really, really cool to see. Actually, if we have a look at the CowSwap page, then put an announcement about it saying, where would you first deploy? And they had like a little meme about it, and then they said, we're live on Arbitrum. So starting today, aka now, we're live on Arbitrum. So it says this is the most robust server competition, the surplus capturing price improving swaps, and advanced order types and custom intents, all to Arbitrum users. Give it a shot by switching your network toggle to Arbitrum. So this is cool. Someone replied by saying we need the cow on base, and the CowSwap replied with the eyes emojis. Hopefully that means it'll be coming very soon. And people are really excited about this. I love base. I love Arbitrum. I'm going to be talking about base next, which is why I said that. I love CowSwap. It's wonderful, and I'm really excited about using it on base and Arbitrum and other places as well. So talking about base, like I just said, Jesse Pollack here had a tweet saying you can now text 100 plus tokens on base to anyone anywhere. Thanks Coinbase Wallet for kicking off Onchain Summer. So they've got like a screen walkthrough of how it works. You put in your token, you put in the amount, you set up the transaction, you choose who you want to send it to. You can share it via text. So it gives you the token, and then there's like security features involved in there. And then you basically tap it, and then you choose who you're sending it to. So some messages, it gives you the transaction, and then you just send it to that person. And when they click the link, they'll receive the crypto. So like the whole process takes less than 30 seconds. It's really, really cool to see. And, these guys like Coinbase, they're doing some really cool stuff with their wallet. I think the smart wallet is actually coming out soon, either today or in a couple of days' time. So it might be that, I'll be talking about that on Rocket Fuel soon. But this is the thing that is going to get a lot of people excited. Like being able to do these like Web 2 style interactions with crypto stuff is going to be really cool. Like, you can use your text messaging to send assets to people. Well, now you can do it through the Coinbase wallet. So it's wonderful to see. It's really, really wonderful to see. And one of the things that makes Base so powerful is like here, 0x Permable says, I made a transaction on Ethereum today. I paid 0.000206 in fees. That's 0.02 cents. And that's 4,854 transactions for $1. And he said, I used Base and we're still early. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to see on Base now. I think they're going to be abstracting away USDC transfers and payments. It just makes sense that they'll be doing that. So you'll make the payment and then you'll get refunded, or like they'll figure out some ways of abstracting it all the way. But I think we need a account abstraction on Ethereum for that to actually happen like that. It might be happen that you'll just get a refund for your gas, which is pretty nice. So yesterday's episode, I talked about the debate between Toly and Justin Drake, and that is something that has really captured the attention of everyone on crypto Twitter. And there've been some really interesting takes. So here, Anatoly and Dankrad got into a bit of a discussion about what the EVM is or isn't capable of. And Dankrad says it's funny because a single threaded EVM execution can reach Solana's current speed of 2,000 transactions per second. Is that all the SCVM can do? And then Mert replies by saying, so why not do it in production? So one thing that I'm going to take a step back here and make really clear to you all, right? So you've all heard of like EVM chains. That's stuff like Binance Smart Chain. We have things like Avalanche's C Chain and Phantom and a whole bunch of others. And a lot of these chains, what they did was they forked Geth and they just dialed up the settings. So it just basically maxed out the settings. And the result of that was, like for something like Binance Smart Chain, the result of that is that, only people with data centers can process the EVM. However, it shows that the EVM is capable of actually putting through thousands of transactions per second. Now, here, Mert says, why not do it in production? And Dankrad actually had the answer that, is the real answer. He says, because Ethereum cares about being able to run and sync on consumer-grade hardware with typical broadband connection. So the idea, of course, is that, as many people as possible can sync Ethereum, can use Ethereum. We really want those home stakers and node operators. And this is how we do it, right? Like Ethereum on ARM, you can use it on the Rock 5B board. I think some people might even still be using their Raspberry Pis, although I don't think many people are using those anymore. But Rock 5B board, is a really cheap, I think $200 system that you add a hard drive onto it, and away you go. You're staking and some RAM as well, of course. But that is the main difference, right, between Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. Binance Smart Chain, you use server grade hardware, and that's expensive, and only a few people can do it, and it's not open for everyone, which is why Ethereum has thousands of node operators, whereas other layer ones don't, pretty much. So Mert said that's not an answer. There's a bunch of EVM layer 2s running single sequences with no proofs, so why aren't they doing 2,000 transactions per second? And then Dankrad says data is currently limited. That would require a few 100 kilobytes per second in data availability. And this is, of course, where blobs come in. So right now, we have 3 blobs per block with a target of, 6 blocks with a target of 3. So above 3, that's when the fees start kicking in. Eventually, as we get more and more transactions going on to layer 2s, then we'll have increased in blob amounts and sizes. And that's something that's going to be really, really good to see. So here, Anatoly says that 2,000 transactions per second times 256 bytes per transaction is 512 kilobits per second. He says my 20-year-old DSL could handle this. But of course, what that would impact is state growth. Like you have to store the blobs for 18 days on Ethereum, and right now it's about 50 gigabytes with per 18 days. Well, that's just what it is, because as new ones come in, the old ones expire. It's about 50 gigabytes, I think. But if it's 6 blocks, that's blobs. Sorry, then it can go up to about 100 gigabytes. Whereas, if we did this, set the blob amount up, then it would be into the terabytes potentially of storage required for this, and we're just not ready for that yet. So those are the main discussion. There's a whole lot of other discussion that's been going on as well on crypto Twitter about this debate. I think it really captured the attention of people, so I really think you should watch it and then go dig into some of these opinions and develop some of these ideas. It's been a pretty good one. And finally, I'm going to finish today's episode with this update from Nate Garasi, who has a screenshot, and he says, submitting this as yet another piece of evidence on why the spot ETF approval wasn't political. Here's SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce to the Wall Street Journal. Important because the SEC didn't comment after 19B4 approvals. And she says that the CME traded ETH futures equals key, not some 11th hour call from Biden. So have a look. She says with any new product, when you come in, you want to look at how it compares to previous products, and you want to build on that when you're applying to trade it. One thing to remember is that both Bitcoin and Ether have futures markets. So the idea here basically is that will Solana be coming next? And it says the CME has no plans to launch futures contract tied to Solana at the moment. So this is the kind of thing that Nate was saying for a while, what Anthony Sassano was kind of leaning into as well, saying that you have the products out there by not following the same rules for the Ether and BTC futures becoming spot. What you're doing is you're being arbitrary and capricious, and you're going to go to court and you're going to get sued. And the idea was that this wasn't, Biden panicking and calling saying approve this ETF. This was always going to happen because the SEC had kind of made huge mistakes on how they approached the whole situation. And yeah, this was always going to be the case. So that's just another one of those points, to for Anthony Sassano and Nate here to kind of say, yeah, we were right all along. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. It was a bit of a quick one. So thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all have a lovely day. Tomorrow, it's unlikely that I'll be covering Ethereum news because I think Anthony Sassano will be back. But I'm happy to kind of step in a little bit when he's on. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.